Welcome back. Today, you take /review from basic to excellent by briefing OpenCode the way you would brief a careful junior developer. By the end of this lesson, you will turn /review from a basic command into an excellent one. The trick is simple, and it is the same trick you already use at work. You brief OpenCode the way you would brief a careful junior developer, with a role, with context, with an example, and with a clear idea of what success looks like. Here is the idea at the heart of today's lesson. Treat OpenCode the way you would treat a smart junior developer who just joined your team. That person is capable and willing, but they cannot read your mind. They do not know your project, they do not know your standards, and they do not know what a good result looks like unless you tell them. So what do? You give them a good brief. What does a careful junior developer actually need from you before they can do great work? 4 things. A role, what job you want them to do. Context, what kind of thing they are looking at. An example, what a good result looks like in your eyes. And success criteria, how you will judge whether they got it right. Give them those 4, and they will surprise you. Here is your current /review command. 3 words. Review this code. That is the whole thing. Now, OpenCode is clever, so it will do something useful even with 3 words. But notice how vague it is. No role. No context. No example. No standard. It is like handing a junior developer a file with no instructions and walking away. The answer you get back will be decent, but it will not be consistent. Let us fix it, one piece at a time. The first piece is the role. You tell OpenCode who to be. You are a careful senior code reviewer. Notice what that single line does. It picks an attitude, careful, not reckless. It picks a level, senior, meaning someone who has seen real codebases. And it picks a job, a reviewer, not a rewriter. That one sentence quietly shapes every answer that follows. Next, add context. Tell OpenCode what it is looking at. This is Python code, written for a beginner tutorial. That single sentence changes the whole conversation. Now OpenCode knows the language, so it will not suggest conventions from a different one. And it knows the audience is beginners, so it will speak plainly and explain its reasoning instead of hiding behind jargon. Context tells OpenCode where it stands. Now add an example. Show OpenCode what good feedback looks like in your eyes. Here is what I mean by good feedback. Line 8, the name TMP is unclear. Try user age. That tiny example teaches more than a paragraph of rules ever could. OpenCode now has a pattern to copy. It sees the length you want, the tone, the specificity. One example does more work than 10 instructions. Finally, add success criteria. Tell OpenCode how you will judge the result. Flag bugs, suggest clearer names, and be specific and kind. Notice that each word is doing a job. Flag bugs names the work. Suggest clearer names points at one kind of improvement. Specific means no vague hand-waving. And kind keeps the tone human. Success criteria are how you make quality repeatable instead of lucky. Put it all together, and your upgraded /review looks like this. The role sits at the top. The context sits right under it. A short example sits in the middle. And the success criteria sit at the bottom. 4 small blocks of plain English, each doing one job. Read it from top to bottom and it reads like a good brief you might hand to a teammate on their first day. Nothing fancy. Just clear. Why does this matter so much? Because a well-briefed command gives you consistently better answers, not just once, but every single time you run it. A vague command is a lottery. Sometimes you get something brilliant, sometimes something useless, and you never know which. A well-briefed command removes the lottery. The quality stops depending on luck and starts depending on the careful thinking you already did. Let me be clear about what each element actually does, because this is where most people stop too early. The role sets the attitude and the expertise. The context removes the guessing about what it is looking at. The example shows the shape and tone you want, which rules alone cannot capture. And the success criteria make quality measurable instead of mysterious. Skip any one of them, and the whole command gets weaker. So what is the actual difference in the answers? With the old 3-word command, you get a review that is correct but generic. It could be about any code, written for anyone. With the upgraded command, you get a review that sounds like it came from a thoughtful colleague who already knows your project. It names your specific lines, it respects your beginner audience, and it explains why it made each suggestion. Same file, 2 different results. How do you actually make this upgrade? You already know the rhythm. Switch to plan mode, and tell OpenCode what you want. Make my review command more specific, add a role, context, example, and success criteria. OpenCode writes back a proposal showing the new version of the file. Read it. Adjust the wording until each element feels right. Then switch to build mode, accept the change, and the upgraded prompt is saved for real. Before you accept anything, read the upgraded prompt carefully, the same way you read every change before it is written. Ask yourself 4 quick questions. Is there a clear role? Is there real context? Is there at least one example? Are there concrete success criteria? If all 4 are present and they sound like you, accept. If one is missing or vague, point it out and ask OpenCode to fix that one line. That read before accept habit protects every command you build. Then test it. Run the upgraded /review against the same file you used before, so the only thing that changed is the brief. Compare the 2 answers side by side. The old one will look generic. The new one will look specific, thoughtful, and aimed at your actual project. That side-by-side comparison is the most convincing proof there is that the brief, not the model, not luck, is what made the difference. And here is the best part. This pattern does not only apply to /review. Every command you ever build benefits from the same 4 elements: role, context, example, and success criteria. A summarize command wants them. A doc check command wants them. Even a tiny one-line command gets sharper when it knows its role. Bake the 4 into every brief, and your whole command library gets better at once. One last thing to hold on to. Briefing well is a skill, and like any skill it gets faster with practice. The first time you write all 4 elements, it will feel slow and deliberate. By the 10th command, the 4 will come almost without thinking, because you will have learned where each one belongs. So do not worry about speed at first. Worry about completeness. The 4 elements, every time. Speed arrives on its own. Let me recap the whole lesson. You can brief OpenCode the way you brief a careful junior developer. A good brief has 4 parts: a role, context, an example, and success criteria. You baked all 4 into your /review command, and the quality of its answers jumped from generic to specific. And the same 4 parts improve every other command you build from here on. That is the entire lesson. Now it is your turn. Open the project where /review already lives. Switch to plan mode, and ask OpenCode to upgrade the command with all 4 elements: role, context, example, and success criteria. Read the proposal, fix anything vague, then build it. Run the upgraded command on a real file. Then run the old generic one on the same file, and compare. The difference is the lesson, made real. Here are the words worth holding on to. Role, the job you want OpenCode to do, and the attitude to do it with. Context, what kind of thing it is looking at. Example, a sample of what a good result looks like in your eyes. Success criteria, how you will judge whether the result is good. And brief, the whole package, the careful instructions you give before the work begins. Good briefs make good commands. That single sentence is the heart of everything you did today. OpenCode is capable and willing, just like a smart junior developer. But it cannot read your mind. When you give it a role, context, an example, and a clear standard, it gives you back its best work, every time, consistently, without surprises. Brief it well, and your commands will serve you faithfully for a long time. A senior hand guiding a younger one. The same quiet patience you bring to briefing well. Good guidance, given once, keeps paying off long after the work is done. Something rough becomes something refined. Light gathers, sharpens, and settles into a cleaner form. That is the whole lesson in a single moment, the same material, better shaped. Clarity is light cutting through fog. One clear sentence does the work of 10 vague ones. Your brief is that single beam, a craftsman's bench, lit warm and steady. Tools laid out with care. Good commands are made the same way, patiently, one careful element at a time. Leveling up is not about more power. It is about better instructions. And better instructions turn a decent command into an excellent one. Thanks for spending this time with me. Next, the power of one job per command. See you next time. Subscribe to catch the next lesson.